so your Friday evening plans will be wet. And it'll be chilly, too, with high temperatures only near 50 tomorrow. A lingering shower as we kick off the weekend on Saturday morning. Then we'll dry it out. We're in the 60s for the rest of the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Folks, you know it's been cold, and we at Randy Marion Stores in Statesville, we want to make sure your car does not leave you stranded on these cold mornings. Come let us check your vehicle out with a complimentary service check. Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln, we'll check it out to make sure that car will start on these cold mornings and get you to where you need to be. Come see us today. Make sure you're tip-top ready to go. 2024 has started off cold. Let's make sure you are ready to go.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Scoreboard here on this Thursday. What a wonderful day it is. 844 Studio 4 will get you right here into the studio and on the Scoreboard. Chat about whatever you might have on your mind today. There's quite a lot of news to go over in the world of sports. Not much to talk about with high school basketball playoffs right now. We are still a day away from round number 2. Mooresville and Lake Norman moving on. Hickory High School, the 1 seed in 3A. So we'll get to it, but that's more than likely going to be a tomorrow thing. But we still have baseball. We had a couple of baseball games yesterday. We got some today, and we got to make sure you're aware of what's going on. Also, in the news, Formula One coming up this Sunday. Yesterday, there was a story about Red Bull and a allegation of misconduct. There was a ruling on a internal investigation, and then there was an update on that today. We'll get to that story because we haven't really talked much Formula One, but this Sunday, Bahrain, Formula One's back, and I don't think it's going to be all that interesting, to be honest with you. If you've watched the last 2 Formula One seasons, you probably know why. Man, some boring stuff when one team wins all but one race in the season. Anyway, 844 Studio 4 gets you into our studio, talk about whatever's on your mind. So we will get to this Formula One story. I think it could be big. Also, man, Jerry Jones is in the news, and this one is wild. This is a wild one. Like, man, Jerry, what are you doing? There's some weird news out there today, man. It's a weird sports day. And also, what did I say was going to happen? Caitlin Clark made an announcement regarding her future. We'll get to all of that, but before we do, we got to start the way we always do, and that is baseball, because baseball is now in season in the high school sports realm. We'll be covering all those local schools just like we did for football, just like we are doing for basketball. So let's get right into things, starting with Mooresville High School. Yesterday, they played a game against Forbush, and unfortunately for them, they fell in that game 7-0. Final score. Forbush was able to put a run on the board in the first, and they never looked back, getting out to that 7-0 lead, and they won this one in 7. Now, I don't have starting pitcher, losing pitcher on here, but I do have some stats. Let's see. Where'd they go? They were just here. Sometimes Max Preps, the website for the high school sports, is just not a good website. Here we go. Noah Hildebrand threw 3 2/3 innings with 4 strikeouts, only giving up 2 earned runs. And then everybody else that pitched for Mooresville only pitched 1 inning. But that is where Mooresville is right now. They just lost 7-0 to Forbush. Lake Norman High School, they have a game today. Their most recent game was on Tuesday. We talked about that yesterday. They fell to Huff High School 11-1 in that one. Tonight they take on Myers Park. First pitch in that game going to be about 20 minutes away now. 6:30 start time. That is a home game for Lake Norman. Getting a little farther north here in the Iredell County area, Statesville High School opens their season today. Game number 1 is going to be on the road as they take on Newton Conover. Now, a lot of these schools play today. They also play tomorrow, though. So Statesville is one of those schools. Today, they're on the road against Newton Conover, but tomorrow they open up at home against Lincolnton. And the start time on that one, 5 o'clock. So depending how accurate and how quick we can get updates from that game, we may be able to tell you how things are going live here on the scoreboard. North Iredell, the Raiders, have a game today. They start their season. They haven't had any on-field activity yet. No scrimmages. This is their first game. They take on Elkin. Now, Elkin has already played, and I don't know if I'm going to consider that an advantage because it was a tough game. Elkin played Ashe County, and the final score in that one was 19-8. Yes, you heard me correctly. 19-8, the final score with Elkin versus Ashe County. So maybe the first game for Elkin was a little bit worse than just having them shake the rust off. Maybe they actually got hit around a little bit. Maybe riding cold streak into game number 1 for North Iredell. So North Iredell is at home tonight. We expect the first pitch right around 7 o'clock. West Iredell has already played 2 games. They played Monday and Tuesday. They did not play yesterday, but they play today. And they're actually playing an Iredell-Statesville school rival. Yes. Game against South Iredell. So South Iredell and West Iredell, one of these teams is going to get their first win of the season. South Iredell sitting at 0-1. They lost on the road to Oak Grove on Tuesday. West Iredell, as I said, they played Monday and Tuesday. Both games at home. Both games ending up in losses. This game against South Iredell, though, is at South Iredell. So West Iredell's 2-game homestand ends at 2 games. Now they are on the road. And for South Iredell, this game opens up a 2-game homestand for them as they take on West Iredell. And then next week, they have Lake Norman. Tomorrow, we're going to cover all of the basketball things going on. Round number 2 of the high school state playoffs coming up. And we talked about some of the schools that have made it. Statesville, unfortunately, they got eliminated in the first round. But hey, for a first-year head coach and the season that they had at the beginning of the year, that turnaround, very good. Proud of that team to make the playoffs even because, boy, oh boy, did it not look good at the start of the season. I think they started something like 1-5 or 0-6, somewhere around there, where their first handful of games in the season did not go the way that they wanted them to. But we got fresh starts here for a lot of these schools with new sports in the baseball season. And then we also, as always, softball, tennis is up, golf coming right around. So we'll keep you updated on as much as we can here on the scoreboard. Coming up on first break of the show here today. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to go to motorsports. We'll be talking NASCAR as this weekend, the Pennzoil 400 from Las Vegas is underway. And Formula One starts their season on Sunday. 844 Studio 4 is the number to call. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the scoreboard. We're back after this.
More of Sports Director Joe Berg's The Scoreboard is coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying dry as we head into our Thursday night, but extra clouds on the increase and temperatures only dipping down into the mid-40s overnight. We'll start our Friday dry but chilly rain on the way, arriving by lunchtime, and it'll be with us for the rest of our Friday. So your Friday evening plans will be wet, and it'll be chilly too, with high temperatures only near 50 tomorrow. A lingering shower as we kick off the weekend on Saturday morning, then we'll dry it out. We're in the 60s for the rest of the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. MuralFest is back. April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College. Featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at muralfest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. The festival is happening in downtown Mooresville. Attending is free, but there are ticket packages available for purchase. Irish dancers, pipe bands, food, and drinks. March 16th, downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Coin collectors, get ready! The Statesville Coin and Currency Show is coming to the Statesville Civic Center March 16th and 17th, featuring over 60 tables of some of the finest coins around. For more info, contact Bill Brewer of Carolina Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show, Statesville Civic Center, March 16th and 17th. Want to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex? How about a Triceratops? Dinosaur World Live is coming to Kane Center for the Arts, Friday, March 29th. That's not the only fun family adventure coming to the Kane Center for the Arts. Dinosaur World Live, Friday, March 29th. For tickets and to see the entire spring lineup, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Make your work easier with Eagle Rentals of Troutman and Statesville. Eagle Rentals has generators, heaters, fans, painting equipment, floor care equipment, pressure washers, lighting equipment, and lawn care equipment. Plus, Eagle Rentals has construction equipment like forklifts, bobcat loaders, backhoes, excavators, and more. Reserve online at eaglerentals.com. That's eaglerentals.com.
Now more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right. Welcome back. Segment number 2 here on the Scoreboard. 844 Studio 4. That's the phone number. Get you right here onto the show. We're going to talk some motorsports here in this segment. We're going to start with NASCAR because I know everybody loves themselves some NASCAR, especially coming off of the week we just had at Atlanta. Hoo boy. So the series finally moves away from draft track racing. We go to Vegas, where we've had quite the races there over the past few years. Last time we were there, Kyle Larson was able to just barely squeak by with the win over Christopher Bell. And we heard from a couple of those drivers that were looking good at Las Vegas, one of them being Christopher Bell, and on his finish from last year. Let's hear what he has to say on Vegas and if maybe it owes him one.
Well, certainly, even before this last race, Vegas has been a place where nothing owes it to you, but it's certainly one that we've been really fast at and haven't won it. And even beyond the 20 car, like even in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, I've performed well there, but never won there. So Certainly Vegas is one that I want to win at really bad.
And he had a chance to win it last year. I mean, he was right there at the end. Almost a photo finish with Larson and Bell. But another driver there that's been pretty decent at Las Vegas is our points leader, Kyle Busch. Now, I looked at the betting odds for Las Vegas, and right now, Kyle Larson, and these are according to DraftKings. So we can't bet yet. In case you were wondering, the bill has not been enacted yet. March 11th is when you can bet here in North Carolina on sports, unless you have that VPN, because VPNs. But right now, Kyle Larson is the favorite. He is at 4-1 odds to win this coming Sunday. That is pretty good considering William Byron behind Larson. 17-2 odds. So Larson pretty well favored in this one, as well as, by the way, Denny Hamlin also sitting at those same odds as Byron, 17-2. Now, I find it interesting that Bell is tied for third here with Ryan Blaney, which is just another interesting one. But you got to scroll pretty far before you find Kyle Busch, 12-1 odds. Now, Kyle Busch hasn't won at Vegas in a while, but he always runs good there. It is his hometown track. He has kind of a love-hate relationship with it, and let's hear more about that from Kyle Busch.
Even as a kid, I had a love-hate relationship with that place. Growing up there, racing there, sometimes you'd win, sometimes you'd not win, So it was always tough and a challenge at the short track, but same for the super speedway, I think you just put a lot of pressure on yourself. I do, of wanting to win at your hometown track. When I did win there in 2009, it felt like a Daytona 500 win. I mean, we partied all night long. Fortunately, the plane got stuck. Wasn't able to go home because of snow on the ground in Charlotte. But all in all, I think I've outdone the third place finish at that track over the course of my career. There's more thirds there than anything else. So I know very well about being 0-2 close.
And I think of so many times that Busch was up there at the front having a chance to win. And then obviously there was that one year where him and Joey Logano got into it after the race because he got spun out. And, Busch is going to be there. And through the first two races of the season, Kyle Busch leading the regular season points. He had a good finish at Daytona, and he was obviously right there, 3 wide for the win at Atlanta. Now, I've watched that replay over and over and over again of that 3 wide Atlanta finish, and I'm still not tired of it. I mean, that was amazing. There's really no other way to describe it, in my opinion. That Atlanta race is going to go down in infamy. Whatever you're supposed to say. You know what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, this coming Sunday, now it's only Thursday, so tomorrow we're going to be able to preview a lot more of what's going on at Vegas, because not only is the Cup Series at Vegas, but all 3 of the National Series are at Las Vegas. Starting with Friday, here is some of the events going on at the track. Now, these are Eastern time, but just a reminder, Las Vegas, Western time, 3 hours behind, okay? So at 4:30, the Craftsman Truck Series will have some practice, and then they'll qualify at 5 o'clock. Practice for Xfinity is at 6:30. Qualifying starts at 7:05, so only a 30-minute practice session for these guys. And then Friday night at 9 o'clock, the Truck Series will have the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200. Like I said, that one's starting at 9 p.m., 6 o'clock local time. On Saturday, the Cup Series is actually going to be practicing. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, don't you think? 2 o'clock, practice will start for the Cup Series, and then at 2:50, we will qualify. And later on that day at 5 o'clock Eastern, the Xfinity Series has their race from Las Vegas. And then on Sunday, the big show at 30, the Pennzoil 400 as the Cup Series makes their way. Race number 3 on the season. Now, I'm going to be the boring one here. I do believe that trends matter, and Kyle Larson has been very, very good at Las Vegas since they got into these new cars. I'm going to go with Kyle Larson as the race winner here this weekend in Vegas. He'll lock himself into the championship battle. I guess we call them playoffs in NASCAR, although you know how I feel about that. We don't have to spend time talking about how I feel on that. So I got Kyle Larson. Maybe we'll have another Kyle and Kyle show. Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch battling it out. I feel like that is what the world deserves right now. 844 Studio 4, get you right here into the studio. Be a part of the program. Ask me a question. If you have a comment, maybe you can let me know, and we will chat. Switching over to a different motorsport now, Formula One. This is a very interesting story, interesting situation that is unfolding here in Formula One. Yesterday, the Red Bull F1 team finished an internal investigation that alleged misconduct against a team employee by team principal Christian Horner. Now, the release is that after the internal investigation meaning Red Bull investigated themselves about one of their employees. The investigation cleared him of alleged misconduct towards a team employee. Now, I take it with a grain of salt, honestly, because it's an internal investigation, first of all. Red Bull is investigating themselves for something that they think might have happened. And if it's bad, they're not going to say anything. They want Horner there. He's been there from the jump. He's been dominating Formula One as the team principal over the past 2 years. So he's not going anywhere. But that was yesterday. They dismissed the alleged conduct. I don't really know what that means, that they dismissed it. Like, was there a formal thing that was proposed to them? Anyway, today, Jenna Fryer, who you might know as a NASCAR reporter, former NASCAR reporter, now with AP News, reported that there was a Google Drive link sent around what's called the paddock, containing WhatsApp messages and other photo evidence against Christian Horner, was sent from an anonymous source and emailed to hundreds of journalists and other team principals, Liberty Media, and many others. Now, I was actually able to find what might be the Google Drive link. Now, nobody has confirmed this yet, because the email that was sent to over 200 people was what looked like a brand new throwaway email created for this sole reason, or it's all junk and somebody is just trying to bash Christian Horner's name. Definitely a possibility, but I was able to find something that was being shared around the internet. It was a Google Drive link with what seemed to be pictures of Christian Horner and WhatsApp messages. It's for his sake, they better be fake. It better not be real, because there is some pretty disturbing stuff in there. And it's not even like what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? We're not going to talk about what was in there because it was not good stuff. But just know that if it does end up being confirmed that this is real evidence, Formula One might be doing something about this, because this is bad publicity right now. And if it is fake, time to put a pin in that immediately, because social media spreads things around like wildfire. Coming up on our next break, we'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Scoreboard.
The This guy knows his sports, right? There's more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying dry as we head into our Thursday night, but extra clouds on the increase and temperatures only dipping down into the mid-40s overnight. We'll start our Friday dry but chilly rain on the way, arriving by lunchtime, and it'll be with us for the rest of our Friday. So your Friday evening plans will be wet, and it'll be chilly too, with high temperatures only near 50 tomorrow. A lingering shower as we kick off the weekend on Saturday morning. Then we'll dry it out. We're in the 60s for the rest of the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Little Shavers Wood Shop and Building Supply is your one-stop source for winter electric and torpedo heaters, heat lamps, pine and cedar shavings, ice melt, and snow sleds. Plus, year-round items including PPG paints and stains, tools for plumbing and heating, and automotive supplies. Over 55,000 warehouse products available. You'll find Little Shavers on Facebook and online at littleshavers.com. That's LILshavers.com. Got a Toyota? Get it serviced at Quality Car Care of Statesville. Looking for a great pre-owned vehicle? Quality Car Care has you covered at 2040 Old Mountain Road. Visit QualityCarCareStatesville.com.
Taco Bell just dropped the new Cravings Value Menu. Now you can get 10 items for $3 or less, which means you can get the food you want for the price you want. It's almost like you can have your cake and eat it too. But in this case, it's a double-stack taco from the new Cravings Value Menu. So basically, you can have your double-stack taco and eat it too, which is a lot crunchier than cake. The new Cravings Value Menu is here. Get it at Taco Bell today. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Tax extra.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Make your work easier with Eagle Rentals of Troutman and Statesville. Eagle Rentals has generators, heaters, fans, painting equipment, floor care equipment, pressure washers, lighting equipment, and lawn care equipment. Plus, Eagle Rentals has construction equipment like forklifts, bobcat loaders, backhoes, excavators, and more. Reserve online at eaglerentals.com. That's eaglerentals.com.
If you're 65 or older and Medicare is your main source of insurance, pay close attention right now and listen for details on how you may save thousands of dollars on your health care costs. Did you know that Medicare can pay for things like dental visits, home delivery of drugs, even a gym membership? Call us right now and learn how to unlock all your Medicare benefits. Medicare and supplemental plans that we provide can even offer you drug coverage with zero copays and pay for transportation to your doctors. Medicare plans can offer you wonderful money-saving benefits, but you've got to call now. We'll help you get the most out of your Medicare. Make this free, no-obligation call now. Save a ton of money on your health care costs and get the code to unlock all your earned Medicare benefits. Paid for by Senior Choice Plans. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. That's 800-508.
Thought-provoking conversations and informed perspectives.
It's meant for everyday people to understand, and you don't have to stress about technical terms and stuff. They just say it like a real person.
WSIC News Talk Now.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Jeff Bezos is betting on the robots. The Wall Street Journal says the Amazon founder is among a group of investors, including NVIDIA, OpenAI, and Microsoft, that poured $675 million into an artificial intelligence robotics company called Figure. It's working on a faceless, human-sized robot that can do things in place of humans. Figure has said it's already signed an agreement with BMW to use its robots in car manufacturing. Less than a month after Elon Musk's brain implant company, Neuralink, said it was cleared to test its implants in humans, the Food and Drug Administration has found problems with record-keeping and quality controls, Reuters says, in Neuralink's animal experiments. On Wall Street, some records. The S&P closed at a new high and the Nasdaq at its first record since November of 2021. All three averages rose 1/10 to 1%, the Dow up 47, the Nasdaq 144, the S&P 27. Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
The Scoreboard with Joe Berg continues now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, second half of the program here today on the Scoreboard. 844 Studio 4 if you have something you'd like to talk about. Man, have we had some show here today. Now I gotta talk about this because I said last night, I would bet you money that with all of the stories going on around the Duke-Wake Forest game, Duke was going to come in and lay an egg at home. Well, I was wrong. Now, I know Louisville's not a good team. They're not that great this year, right? I just thought maybe with the things going on in the world of sports, Duke would get what am I trying to say here? Duke would, I don't know, get what they have coming to them. A loss, another one. I just don't like the way that this was a story for a whole week. Court storming and injuring a player. I mean, come on. This isn't even real at this point. Filipowski played, right? He returned to the starting lineup. Not that he missed anything, but 9 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Seems like he was fine to me. Anyway, we got caller into the studio here. Let's go on ahead and take that. Caller, you're on the Scoreboard. How can we help you today?
Hey, Joe, how's it going tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. You're talking my topic there, a little ACC hoop.
ACC hoop. Man, I'm telling you, I really thought that with all that talk and how big of a story the court storming was, I thought Duke was going to get their rear ends handed to them. But unfortunately, they did the handing.
Yeah, well, they were playing Louisville, so they're, I think, still at the bottom of the league.
Not a good season for Louisville.
Another bad season for them. So.
Another bad season.
Hey, now I got to brag about the Tar Heels there. They got a 3-game winning streak. They're back on track now. They had some, questionable plays along the way, but they managed to squeak it out with Mr. R.J. Davis dropping 42 big ones, most ever in the Dean Dome.
That was a Dean Dome record.
Yeah. Did you watch that game?
I caught a little bit of it.
Yeah, I caught a little bit.
Just a little. Yeah, I was flipping around between things.
Yeah. He almost outscored. If he would have done that in the Virginia game, he almost would have outscored Virginia. They had 44 total in that game.
Yeah, that was
Here
some
the next
performance.
Game, he dropped 42.
It was some performance to see there.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, he was just like in a zone there. He was just unbelievable. Some of the shots he was making.
So 3-game win streak here for North Carolina, NC State, Notre Dame, and Duke. That's probably going to decide which way the ACC goes.
Right. If Carolina wins out, then there'll be the outright chance. If they stumble at Duke, I guess they could wind up tied with them being co-champs for the regular season. If they, if it stays as is and they just lose one and Duke wins out. But I don't know. Duke's got some other games coming up. Some challenges too. I think aren't they at State, and that's usually a tough place for them to play on the road.
Yeah,
so
Duke's got Virginia coming up on the 2nd. That's this Saturday, and then they're on the road against NC State before playing at home against North Carolina to end their season. It's gonna be some run to the end of the year. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. What do you think about this net rating? I mean, should they just get away, just throw that in the garbage, and just go back to the good old eye test like how it used to be back in the real days? I mean, for the ACC, they brag about how great the Big 12 is, but I think the ACC this year is like 9-3. Them teams that that played against each other, throughout the year.
I don't think.
And then they were.
I don't think these rankings and anything's going to matter, because I read an article yesterday about how it is inevitable that the NCAA tournament is going to expand to 80 or 90 teams in the coming future. So does any of it even matter anymore? If everybody's going to get in, does it really matter?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's getting crazy, and then with all the money issues, we've talked about that before. It's just adds a whole nother caveat to the situation that it's really not even amateur status anymore. But I guess it's the best we got for now till they come up with something different. I'll keep watching for now. But I just had to brag about my Tar Heels. They're still on tops in the ACC, and if they win out, then they're the outright champs. And coming up at Duke, are we going to have another little wager bet since it's a Duke game coming up?
Oh,
you've been thinking about your wager?
I'll have to think of a good one for this one. We got a little bit of time, so I'll come up with something, and we'll put something out there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Have to have another little friendly wager there and see.
For
see
sure.
Who has the bragging rights after that one. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. We got a couple of games left before we get to that Duke game, but I'm definitely looking at this ACC standings and saying, oh man, we are getting down to it. It's going to be between North Carolina and Duke. Anything else for me here today?
I was just going to say too, everybody downs like the ACC. I mean, I'll give props to the Big East, because really, if you look back over the last 10 years or so, I mean, the ACC has won, since 2009, the Tar Heels have won 3, Duke's won 2, and Virginia won. So that's 6 of the title games have been won by the ACC since 2009. And then I think UConn has a couple in there, and then Villanova has a couple. So the Big East is well represented, at least 4 that I can think of. So, they can say, the ACC's down or whatever, but, the proof's in the pudding, I guess. They get results when it counts. I mean, you can say, oh, they're not that good, or they're not this or that. We're not going to let as many teams in, but they still, over the last 5 years, I think it is, they still have the best winning percentage of all the teams, all the conferences.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, they have been the class of the NCAA. I know the Big East gets a lot of attention as a basketball conference, but the ACC over the past year, it's been pretty dominant, and I'm excited to see if they can continue that through this tournament. I'm thinking we're going to see an ACC champion, but I'm not sold on that just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think UConn's still for real too. I mean, it's I think they're one of the best teams at Purdue. They just never can seem to quite perform in the postseason. They're a good regular season team, but until they show me they can get over the hump and really do something good. UConn's for real, though. I'll give them, they beat Carolina pretty handily this year. And last year, obviously the champs, and, they've won 5 titles or something since 1999. Yeah. So, they're definitely a strong program. I'll definitely put them up there as, one of the better programs over the last 25 years. But it'll be interesting to see, I guess. We'll see what happens. But just had to put another little plug in there for my Tar Heels.
For sure, absolutely. Always appreciate you calling and hearing from you and hearing the fandom on those Tar Heels.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. All right, Joe, I'll let you go, and hope you have a good evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in today. Love to hear from you. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that you brought up there, the money thing with NCAA and players not really being amateurs anymore, it'll lead me into my next story out of the NCAA having to do with Caitlin Clark. But we're coming up on a commercial break. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this one, because I think it says a lot about not only where the NCAA is in terms of NIL and money and getting paid to play, but also where women's basketball is in general. We'll have that story for you here after the break. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Scoreboard.
This guy knows his sports, right? There's more of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying dry as we head into our Thursday night, but extra clouds on the increase and temperatures only dipping down into the mid-40s overnight. We'll start our Friday dry, but chilly rain on the way, arriving by lunchtime, and it'll be with us for the rest of our Friday. So your Friday evening plans will be wet, and it'll be chilly too, with high temperatures only near 50 tomorrow. A lingering shower as we kick off the weekend on Saturday morning. Then we'll dry it out. We're in the 60s for the rest of the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. MuralFest is back. April 25th through the 28th at Wilkes Community College. Featuring nearly 100 performers, including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at muralfest.org. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN for your chance to win tickets. Downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. The festival is happening in downtown Mooresville. Attending is free, but there are ticket packages available for purchase. Irish dancers, pipe bands, food, and drinks. March 16th. Downtown Mooresville's Shamrocks and Shenanigans is on its way. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Coin collectors, get ready! The Statesville Coin and Currency Show is coming to the Statesville Civic Center March 16th and 17th, featuring over 60 tables of some of the finest coins around. For more info, contact Bill Brewer of Carolina Prospectors in Statesville. The Statesville Coin and Currency Show, Statesville Civic Center, March 16th and 17th. Want to see a Tyrannosaurus Rex? How about a Triceratops? Dinosaur World Live is coming to Kane Center for the Arts, Friday, March 29th. That's not the only fun family adventure coming to the Kane Center for the Arts. Dinosaur World Live, Friday, March 29th. For tickets and to see the entire spring lineup, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Happening now at Randy Marion Ford Chevrolet in Statesville.
How about a new car, truck, or SUV? What a better way to start 2024 than at Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville. Randy Marion Ford Lincoln taking advantage of a special purchase of 2023 Mazda CX-30s. These are the carbon editions starting at $24,770. You pick the color. Here today, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln. We have got the king of price deal. Like always, 2024, come see them today.
It's The Scoreboard with your host, Sports Director Joe Berg on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Final segment here today, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it. It is a wonderful Thursday. 844 Studio 4 to get you here into our studios. Be a part of the Scoreboard and chat about anything that you might have on your mind. Local sports, high school, college, pro, regional stuff, national. We talked Formula One. Season opener Saturday at 10 a.m. Going to be a great event there over in Bahrain. 844 Studio 4. The phone number gets you here into the studio. We got some news stories, but before we get to those, I want to talk about Caitlin Clark. I teased this before we went to commercial. We heard from Caitlin Clark on Twitter. She posted, "It is time for her to leave Iowa and go to the NBA or the WNBA. The statement says, while this season is far from over and we have a lot more goals to achieve, I will It will be my last one at Iowa. I am excited to be entering the 2024 WNBA draft. And with this news comes an interesting stat. By declaring for the WNBA draft, and if she would, which she is going to be, if she is the number 1 overall pick, that is a pay cut of $750,000 for Caitlin Clark. That's correct. You heard me right. She would go from college to professional women's basketball and take a pay cut. And I'm not going to talk about the state of the WNBA and why are the contracts so. We know why. The revenue is not there right now. I don't know how you make it entertaining, because if the NBA is having problems right now, WNBA is going to be having problems too. But because women's basketball is tied into the NCAA, gets a little bit more popularity right now than the WNBA. And that has to do also with the emergence of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. So you look at this and you say, why is she going to the WNBA when she could make more money at Iowa? I just think that's very interesting to see. You know, we haven't heard about it too much in football yet, but there are going to be stories of players taking massive, massive pay cuts to go to the NFL. It's no longer an amateur sport. They're going to lose their amateur status soon. We talked about the rulings by the judge saying that Dartmouth is allowed to unionize. You know, no updates on that just yet, but the amateur tag is long gone. It is. And I think this is just another step in that direction. When this is becoming public and when this is becoming big news stories, a player going to a pro team, a player is going to be drafted, leave college, and they're going to make less money year by year. We're getting there. It's going to be a slow snowball effect to this moment, but we're going there. We're going towards no longer having NCAA athletes, college athletes, be classified as amateurs. Now I'm talking Division I. I don't know how this is going to affect Division II, Division III, because, you know, the money's not in it. There's no money in that. The money is where the people are watching. The people are watching Division I sports. And that's just the way it is. Let's talk about a couple of these news stories for the day. This one is just a shame, man. Just an absolute shame. The Philadelphia Phillies are scrapping Dollar Dog Night for more than a quarter century. Phillies fan considered Dollar Hot Dog Night among the best ballpark promotions, but the team has now decided it was the last time. The dog days of April is when the Phillies weather is cold and they're getting hot dogs. That promotion, it used to be 2-for-1 deal, then it was Dollar Dog Night, and now it's gone. The reasoning based on the fans. The fans were getting too rowdy during Dollar. How is this a real news story? I mean, I get it. It's funny. But the conduct of fans largely played a role in this. And on April 11th game last season, this is my favorite news story of the day. April 11th last year, the Phillies played, and there was a food fight when fans tossed their hot dog onto the field, into other sections, leading to multiple ejections. So they're scrapping Dollar Dog Night. You threw the hot dogs onto the field, so now you're going to have to pay $18 for that hot dog. That's not an exaggeration. It's probably $18 for a hot dog at this point. Oh, that's funny. I don't care. Scrapping Dollar Dog Night because the fans couldn't stop getting rowdy. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be pretty rowdy if I went into a ballpark and they said the hot dogs were $1. I'd be like, absolutely. I'm going to eat 10 of them. Also in the news, this one a little bit more serious. A little bit. A judge has upheld a decision requiring Cowboys owner Jerry Jones to take a paternity test as part of a legal dispute with a 27-year-old woman who says the billionaire is her biological father. The judge ruled on Wednesday to reject an appeal from Jones of a 2022 ruling in a paternity case previously alleged in a separate lawsuit that she was conceived from a relationship that Jones had with her mother in the mid-1990s. Jerry Jones, aged 81, has been married to his wife, Jean Jones, since 1963. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The original lawsuit claims that Jones pursued Cynthia Davis, the mother, who was also married at the time, after they met while she was working for American Airlines. Their settlement, original settlement, allegedly called for Jones to pay Cynthia Davis $375,000 and for Alexandra Davis to receive a certain monthly, annual, and special funding from a trust until she was 21, as well as a lump sum payment when she turned 24, 26, and 28. Attorney for Jones said Alexandra Davis has received millions of dollars from Jones in her lifetime, that according to court documents. Now, the original settlement was in 1998, and it was allegedly said that Jones would support them financially as long as they didn't publicly say he was Alexandra's father, something the married Cowboy owner has denied. Davis then dropped the case a month later, saying she would instead seek to prove that Jones is her father, and filed this case for paternity. Now, I don't know if this is going to mean anything, honestly, but just an interesting situation here. Jerry Jones ordered by a judge to take a paternity test. Getting towards the end of the program here today, let's look at this day in sports history. I got not too much, honestly. It's a leap day. It's a leap day. I didn't even mention that. It's February the 29th. And it's an interesting day for NASCAR. 1976, Richard Petty wins the only Winston Cup race run on a leap day, taking the Carolina 500 at Rockingham, get this, by 2 laps over second place finisher Darrell Waltrip. You know, I know a lot of people like to make fun of Formula One because everybody finishes 10 seconds behind each other and there's no action. But I don't know if I've ever seen a Formula One race where the leader was laps ahead of the field. That used to happen often in NASCAR. And I know, maybe it's because they didn't have automatic timing and scoring until the 90s. But that's an interesting one. The only race ever on a leap day won by none other than Richard Petty. Who else would it be? Also on this day in 1972, future Hall of Famer right fielder Hank Aaron becomes the first player to earn $200,000 annual salary. Signed a 3-year extension with the Braves after one of his best seasons where he batted .327 with 47 home runs and 118 RBIs. Got him $200,000 in the 70s. That contract would get him a lot of money. Into that stat line, if he batted .327 with 40 home runs, he'd be making Ohtani money. Times have changed. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. This has been The Scoreboard. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, send you off into the weekend. Have a good one, everyone. I'll talk to you tomorrow.